We all know life isn't a straight line. Sometimes we're on top, looking out at the horizon with the arrogance of someone who thinks they've got it all figured out. And other times we're so low that even looking up makes us dizzy. So today, we're talking about what to do when you don't have a single dollar to your name, when money disappears faster than the promise to hit the gym after New Year's. Imagine this: you're staring at your fridge, as empty as your pockets after paying rent. And there you are, standing in front of that cold box of lost hopes, hearing your brain scream louder than a rock concert, "I have no money." Yeah, that sharp, desperate cry reminds you that your bank account is bleeding out. And if you're thinking, "That'll never happen to me," let me tell you, that's exactly what I thought, until it did. Because, let's be real, we all think we're invincible until the blow lands. And when it hits, nothing is scarier than deciding if you'll use your last $3 to buy food or pay for the bus to avoid walking 30 kilometers in the heat. Now, first things first, food. I'm not talking about going out to some fancy restaurant. No, I'm talking about making sure you've got enough to not starve. Because when you run out of money, your ego is the first thing that needs to go out the window. Yeah, that same ego that makes you feel ashamed or afraid to ask for help. Gone. It's useless now. Next up is simple: sell everything. Everything around you that isn't essential. I sold my fridge, I sold my stove, even the microwave. And if you're wondering, how desperate do you have to be to sell your wedding rings? Well, yeah, we did that too. And guess what? We never got them back. Because when you need to survive, material things are a luxury you just can't afford. Selling everything gave us a little bit of air, a few months of financial oxygen. And trust me, that oxygen is more important than you think. Because when your brain is clouded with stress, you can't think clearly, and what you need most in that moment is clarity. So, sell whatever isn't essential. Now, the next priority: a roof over your head. Your house, the place where you can crash after a hellish day. If you've ever been on the streets, you'll know how desperate it is. Sleeping on the street is a level of misery I wouldn't wish on anyone. And if you've never been in that situation, consider yourself lucky. But if you are, you need to make sure you've got somewhere to sleep for at least 3 months. I've been on the street twice in my life, literally. And every day was a battle to find enough money to pay for one more night in the cheapest hotel I could find. I won't lie to you, it's brutal. But the key is simple: do whatever it takes to survive, because no one else will do it for you. Now, let's talk about selling your skills. You might not be a Michelin star chef, but can you cook? Drive? Fix pipes? All of that can be sold. For example, I ended up escorting trucks. Yep, from entrepreneur to sitting behind a trailer for 48 hours without sleep. My boss? The truck driver. Life's little ironies. Why did I do it? Because those 2 days of work gave me enough money to eat and pay rent. And meanwhile, the other 5 days of the week, I was developing my projects. I sold what I knew. I started writing for magazines, created a course, developed business simulators. All of that, with less than $100 in my pocket. And now, here's a tip you probably weren't expecting: work out. Yeah, even if you're broke, even if your account is emptier than your fridge, do something physical. Because exercise releases dopamine, and trust me, that's exactly what you need when your life feels like a mess. When you look good, you feel better, and that energy is exactly what you need to climb out of that misery. So, if you're at rock bottom, don't worry. The only way out is up. One step every day. And before you know it, you'll be looking back and laughing at all of this. Remember, the trick isn't avoiding the hit, it's getting back up every time you fall. This too shall pass. And when it does, you'll have one hell of a story to tell.